Hey look, there's a Maestro there just like mine. Just like mine. Here's something fun. We've got two Maestros here. This one's mine, and this one's Peter's. And we're going to have a look around both of these cars and see what's the same, what's different, and how one that's on less than 60,000 miles compares to one that's on more than 180,000 miles. Should be a fun day. Right then, this is a bit of a surprise. We've got two Maestros that are nearly exactly the same. So this one is my Maestro. This one's done 180,000 miles and counting. And yeah, that looks like a engine bay. This one is Peter's Maestro. It's done a lot less miles. It has done that many miles, so about a third. And it's a lot better than mine. But then you'd expect that, because it's also owned by Peter. So there's a few differences under the engine bay on both cars. Not many, it's still basically the same engine. A lot less oil and dirt under here. The main difference is the charcoal canister down here, which is to do with emissions, and this one has a catalytic converter as well. Mine, being a good few years older, doesn't have any of that gear at all. That's not here, there's no catalytic converter on this one, but fundamentally everything else under here is exactly the same. So that gives you a brief overview of both cars. It gives you a rough idea of condition. One handy thing with Peter bringing his lovely example is I can now understand what's wrong on the front of mine. I know this bumper is very straight looking, which the front of the car isn't. The front of the car has quite a curve. I am going to be taking this off and straightening it out. If we look at Peter's car, you can see the bumper shape is completely different. It actually follows the curve of the front. And the gap down here is actually big enough to put my finger in all the way along. On my car, it gets so tight here that you can't actually get your hand in. So that's the sort of thing you don't really see in photographs. So it's good to have that as a comparison. Peter also wanted to point out to me the rust on the doors. So we then had a look at the rust on my doors. Yeah. The inside of Peter's Maestro is slightly different to mine. Very similar spec. Peter's is slightly higher spec than mine, but it is a later car. This one being from 94, mine's from 88. The dashboard got a facelift, and Peter's just told me this is the dashboard they used in the Montego as well. So the controls in the middle are slightly different. The radio is very similar. I had a radio like this in my R8, I think. Cigarette lighters moved. These switches are in a much better place than they are on my car. And he has a mat over here, which will just stop things sliding around. Just a loose fit thing. His dashboard is in excellent condition. There's a few other changes inside. The grab handles are slightly different. The fabric on the seats is quite different. This is updated for the mid-90s, obviously. The center console in this one is more rounded and curved. You have a slightly different gear lever boot here, but the gear knob itself is the same. And again, with the handbrake assembly there. Front door cards are very similar. The biggest difference is the fabric on this section, handles again of course, and the pocket on the bottom, which is moulded in more curvy, more what you'd get on a 90s car. And in the back, things are pretty much the same. Split fold rear for the practicality, same kind of head restraints, and nice simple rear door cards. And Peter's car being in such good condition, the door shut really nicely. In the front, for the driver, this area is all basically the same as it is on mine. And same kind of steering wheel, same stalks. And your instrument panel is again pretty much identical. There's some slight difference with the warning lights up here, but otherwise everything's much the same. The big difference on Peter's car is that he has a sunroof and it has a manual winder. I'm not going to open this today, it's quite chilly. And of course his headlining still has fabric on it, where mine doesn't. My car has a door handle that needs replacing. And you can see this is the older style dashboard. The center console is quite different. You don't have the switches in the same location. The cigarette light is in a different place. And the radio, again, this is an original radio, is a slightly different design. My center console, I do have a replacement. This one's quite badly damaged. It's much more blocky. The handbrake mechanism, again, more old-fashioned looking. My door cards normally have a door bin on them. They're off at the moment. I'm midway through an interior change. The door handles are different. Mostly it's the same otherwise. I also have no interior adjustment on these mirrors. Instead I have to do the mirror there. Something I forgot about Peter's car. On his, it's the same mirror on the outside, but you have a little lever here that you can move to adjust the mirror inside the car. So no need to get out, and you can just about reach the passenger one when you're in the car as a driver. That's what the extra miles do for you. Just like Peter's, split fold rear, very simple rear door cards. Nothing fancy in here, no toys, different fabric and handles, and that's really it. Unlike Peter's car, mine doesn't have a sunroof, and the fabric is completely gone. This is a job I meant to do early on in the project, and I just haven't got round to it. Another spot where mine needs improvement and Peter's clearly doesn't. Boots on Maestros are actually quite good. Mine's just full of various tools and fluids and things that I have in there while I'm driving around. Sunblind, jump leads, box of tools, you know, screen wash and that sort of business. You can get quite a lot in them. And Peter has come up on his journey around the UK, and yeah, he's got quite a bit in there, and there's a lot more space too. He brought me most of a tailgate so I can repair mine, and with the seats folded it was still quite comfortable for 2 people in the car, with lots more space to spare. I think we should take these 2 cars for a drive. Maestro's looking a lot smarter today. Wait a minute. Oh no, no. Still looks the same.